It's another episode of Wearable Today, episode number 79.00 FE, Service Error. Today, we're going to talk about the smart home. You guys are putting on your Nests, you're putting on your cool, like this little Leo right here. I just pulled it out of the wall just to show you what it is, and stuff like that. All this internet-connected stuff, Internet of Things, and how your wearable can be part of that Internet of Things as well, because we got very special guest in Marco Nieves. I messed it up. I screwed it up, but that's okay. He's still here. He's going to forgive me, and I know he's going to forgive me. We also got talking about, we're going to talk about wearable technology. You know, that's what the show's about. So basically teenage girls and getting their own wearables. We're going to talk about futuristic wearables. We're going to talk about wafer-thin wearables. Come on, another bullet. I want a wafer-thin. Anyway. We got it all, and it's going to be next, and this is Wearable Today. Hey, everybody, Jeffrey Powers here. I got way too many things to push and press and stuff like that. Over at Geekazine, you can find me over at Geekazine. Just think magazine. Put in a geek. Geekazine's my Twitter handle, of course, Geekazine at gmail.com. Gmail, not Gmail, but Gmail. And as always, we've got our regular dynamic duo of Batman and Robin, right? You kind of like Batman and Robin.
Kind of like Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Luke Wallace. You can find me on Twitter at Luke Luca, or on Instagram at Luke Luca, or on Google Plus at Luke Wallace, plus Luke Wallace on Google Plus. Yeah, and this is Birdie. Here just hanging out. You know, giving us the Robin aspect of the Batman and Robin duo. Mm. So,
did I ruin your Halloween costume idea at all, or no?
No, it's definitely not Batman and Robin.
Okay, cool, so, awesome.
All right, and the guesses.
Oh yeah, the guesses. Are you?
Nope, you got one. Your guess.
Okay.
One guess a week.
Marco, do you have a guess?
I have no guess whatsoever.
No guess whatsoever. Well, then tell people who you are.
I'm Marco Nieves.
Or as I say, Nieves. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was great, Jeff. Good
going. Thank you.
I'm over at obsessivelygeek.com, at obsessivelygeek on Twitter, and you can email me at marco@obsessivelygeek.com.
And you got a really cool. Is that an octopus or is that a domopus or something like that?
It's kind of an octopus-like thing with glasses on.
Okay.
I was going for octopus. I'm not sure if I got it right.
Well, it looks like, you know, little brown domo dolls that they had. It kind of looks like this. It looks like that, except it's got tentacles. So I was calling it a domopus.
I guess that's a good word for it.
So anyway, I'm it's an octopus. We'll just leave it at that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, geeks of all ages, let's get into the show. And we always start with big news, little alarms. And we're going to start with some great news on our hosting front. Last week I told you about our current hosting provider, Blip.tv, was shutting down. Down. It's gonna happen on August 20th, so all the previous videos you'll still be able to watch right now. But you know, it left me high and dry on how I was going to deliver this onto an iTunes front. After some emails and contacts, our friends over at CacheFly stepped up, and they helped us with not only the hosting but also hosting the archive of our shows. So I'm in the process of actually taking those shows and moving them over to the CacheFly servers. Season 3 will be up on CacheFly, whereas Seasons 1 and 2 was This Week in Google Glass at that time, and now Wearable Today, will be available over at archive.org. So we can, basically, not too many people watch those episodes, so we want to archive them and get them ready. So like I said, I'm moving the content over in the next couple weeks. Check out all the great deals over at CacheFly, our friends over there. Thank you very much for that, and we'll be talking more about CacheFly in the upcoming weeks, but I'm really excited about that. So that's the big hear news for today. Let's get into the wearable news. Luke, get it started.
First up, the Institute for Superconducting and Electronic Materials, or ISEM, has created a new process that creates batteries that are smaller and charge faster. Thanks to graphene and carbo nanotubes, along with a conductive polymer, they are able to create a larger surface area to store the electric charge, and they're flexible. That means that we should see these batteries in smaller wearable applications, and they're even talking about implanted devices. To read more, we've got a link to the full article over on phys.org, phys.org. Fizz, but
Like
not
the soda.
Fizz, phys.
It's the physical fizz.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I was going to read this next one. Marco, did you want to take the helm on the second one? Do you have that?
Sure.
Yeah. Go for it. I'll just sit
Are
back
you-
and relax.
Okay. Are you a small business that is concerned about wearable technology? Are you wondering if you should make a wearable app? Do you love hearing people asking you questions? Why not check out this article over at moneycontrol.com that asks 4 key questions to ask before adopting wearable technology.
Very nice. Good job. That's pretty much it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, are you taking the next one, or am I
No, you go. I'm sitting back and I'm going to
Oh,
have a
okay,
Mai
all right.
Tai right here. So keep going.
Okay, yeah. Why you haven't? Okay, well, I'm gonna have my shirt over here. So, could teenage girls be designing the most creative wearable on the market? Kyle Van Hemert, I'm probably not pronouncing that exactly right.
Van Hemert. Van
Van
Hemert.
Van
Yeah.
Hemert over at Wired thinks so. Jewel bots are the friendship bracelet of the modern age, with an ulterior motive to make computer programming more appealing to young girls. The device is worn on your wrist and can be programmed to light up different colors at different times. Right now it focuses on turning specific colors when specific friends get nearby, but it could be enhanced by the user as they learn programming skills. You can read the full article over on wired.com.
Go for it, Marco.
Me?
Marco.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait. You got to say it like this. I'm Bond, James Bond, and this is my article. Shake it, not stud. Go for it.
I will try.
Okay.
We've all seen futuristic wearables in movies before. Those movies have been an inspiration for a lot of wearables being created now. But have you ever thought about how many wearables are in the James Bond franchise? I know I have. Well, Wearable.com did and put together a list of 35 wearables they found, from laser watches, I want one of those, to X-ray specs, to Jaws' famous metal teeth. Don't expect to see headphones with a Garrett wire built in anytime soon, but you might notice a few that resemble devices that are now easily available. Read more at Wearable.com.
And that's wearable, WAREABLE.com. What was that word? Garrett? You wrote this.
Garrote.
Garrote?
That's the, you know, in a movie when they take they go up behind a guy and they choke him with that wire. That's that.
Yeah.
That's what that wire is called, is a garrote wire.
I think that was, okay, the Garrote watch. I got it right here. Let's pull it up here. So this is the Garrote watch.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There were headphones. Another one, there was like some delivery guy wearing headphones that had basically the same kind of wire built into it. But yeah, you could do it as a watch. Let's see.
Did they show the headphones on there?
Yeah, they did. I don't remember.
They showed this
where
guy
it
with the
was.
chicken.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool. That was the one thing is, Moonraker was the James Bond that I got introduced to the franchise. And, of course, Jaws, Richard Keel, who passed away just a couple of years ago. It was that just the laser beam coming out of the watch, and what was the other one? I think it was the pen. The pen that wasn't Moonraker. That was the next one where Sean Connery gave the guy the pen. I think it was. and he was in the closet. And he says, "This is a bomb, so don't let go of it." And the guy's just like going like this, and when he's done, he just pulls it out of his hand and goes, "Oh, thank you very much." And but anyway, lots of cool. It just shows you that wearable tech has been around for many, many years, and I like that, and I go from there. So anyway, let's move on. We're going to go over to a segment we call Fund Me. This is about fundable stuff. It's pretty fun to fund and fund anyway. So if you're looking for a stand for your Apple Watch, you want something geeky and fun. Watch Me is kind of like, looks like the yellow one looks like the Minions, but probably not, because it's not Minions. We're not copyright issues. We're not going to get in there. But anyway, they've got these little guys right here, which are charging stands, and you download the app, and of course you get this little eye looking at you, and probably some other cool things that the app does. And the price is pretty good. You can get one for about $24. And I don't think you get the charger with it. It's just the little guy stand, whatever, and go from there. Is there? Do you think, Marco? Do you think that there's some way to 3D print? Well, there's got to be a way to 3D print something similar to that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to have the right modeling skills for it, but it doesn't seem like a too complex shape to recreate. I mean, you know
So,
me, I like to 3D print everything.
oh yeah, did you 3D print yourself?
I actually did 3D print myself once.
Oh, well, that's cool. And
Uh,
are we talking to real you or 3D printed you?
no, 3D printed me is only one color. I have lots
Oh,
of colors on me.
okay. Well, you could paint 3D printed you. I mean, it's very possible. So.
Yeah, but it won't talk either. Are you trying to tell me something?
No,
Am I
not
not
really.
entertaining?
I just thought I'd ask the question. Is it you or is it Memorex? I don't know. So, but anyway,
My
Luke.
wife would love that dock though. It's too cute.
Oh yeah, definitely. It looks like a lot of fun. If I had an Apple Watch, I might be looking into one. Luke, you've been looking at stands not only for not for Apple Watch, of course, but
Sure.
for your Moto 360. Do they have something like that for that?
They don't have anything quite that uh, cute, but man, like y- if I was these guys, I would be reaching out to uh, Illumination or whoever, who's the publishing company for Minions. It's not Disney, it's not DreamWorks, it's one of the other ones. But I'd be reaching
Pixar.
out to them to try to like say, hey, we could make up these stands and we could make a Minion one that looks like a Minion that you drop your watch on, and it basically looks exactly like a Minion, and people would probably eat that up. I know my wife would definitely be all over that aspect of it. Uh, she would love it if I had a little Minion stand for my watch that I could set it there and charge it. So this might be something I either have to look into 3D printing or try to figure out some other way for that. But yeah, it seems like a little bit of a licensing play there
Yeah,
would be a big deal.
I think aren't you her minion?
In a sense, in the real world sense, I guess, but not so much in the yeah. She wouldn't want a 3D printed version of me holding a watch. Like that wouldn't be as good.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think she
That's
thinks
true.
the animated minions are much cuter than I am. So
That's true. That's true. Well, not to take away too much from this article, but yeah, I'm just showing you the pictures of the different. These are the different colors
yeah.
that you can get, and I think you can mix and match them. I think that's what this is all about. Is you can take
Hmm.
the cap off the white one and move it. It's kind of like because it's what's really funny is back in the rotary phone days when I was a kid, we had a black rotary phone and we had a yellow rotary phone like this color. And I took off the cases and I switched them around so it was like yellow and black at one
Yeah.
time. So that kind of reminds me of that right there. But anyway, there goes my childhood. Back in my day, when we had the good wearable technology,
What's a rotary phone?
I have no idea. I have no clue.
Like, if you're,
I think that's a phone that went to a meeting every single Tuesday over at the lodge to learn how to speak better.
yeah, I don't like that was. Yeah, that's what it was. The
I still
rotary
can't
phone.
get.
That was the phone at the Rotary Club that they
Exactly.
used. Like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's probably right.
What was that, Marco?
I still can't get over the fact that the top of that dock kind of looks like Darth Vader's helmet.
You know, I was thinking that exact same thing. Let's go back to this
Oh,
picture.
Darth Vader one would be awesome too. Man, they
Yeah.
should just license this
Yeah, it
thing like
would.
crazy.
It'll be like a Darth Vader minion. I mean, how ultimately geeky is that? You know, it's great that our kids love the same geeky stuff that we do, but why do they have to have cooler geeky stuff, geeky toys than we did?
Yeah, the kids today.
It's not fair.
with all-
These kids today, it's not fair. Actually, I buy all the geeky stuff anyway, so it just really doesn't matter. So,
Yeah, same here.
exactly. Well, you 3D print all that geeky stuff.
I do a little bit of both, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I see. What do you have behind it? It looks like a Steve Jobs doll or something like that.
Oh yeah, I have the ICEO from what was it called? Pillow Boy, I think.
Okay. And then
They
you
released a
have.
limited edition ICEO, and then I have Jack Skellington behind that.
Yep. Okay. And then you have a small mini fridge behind that. Or is that a
A
regular
mini
fridge?
fridge? Yeah, that's a
Whatever
regular
that,
fridge.
that gray thing is. I'm just, I'm looking. Let's do a tour of your apartment there. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So, but yeah, no, it's really cool. We got some geeky stuff, and yeah, when I used to have a cubicle, it always had geeky stuff. In fact, Jennifer pulled out my what was that called? Think Geek had it for like 2 weeks, and it got sold out, and I bought two of them. It's called Rollerscape, and it was this you build your own roller coaster. And in my office, I had this thing running all over the top of the walls. It was awesome. She pulled it out, and and when I was away on, she was doing some reorganizing. She pulled it out, and I go, "Oh, that was so cool." I played with it. And she goes, "Yeah, I pulled it out, and I put it together for about 2 hours." And it was like, "That's so cool." So it's a fun little game.
In
But
in
anyway,
our office, my boss has a bunch of Nerf guns just lying around.
don't get me started on that. That's back in my Windows 95. Windows 95, when I did Windows support for Windows 95, our group had, we were third shift, and we did Nerf gun fights all the time. until one day, one of the Nerf things got up into the lights and melted, and then they put out a policy. It was stupid. What can you do?
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
What about you, Luke? What do you have at your office? What kind of geeky stuff?
I, not very much right now. It's pretty sparse.
Well, what about your your office?
Oh, I've got Android stuff out the wazoo basically. So my wazoo is completely full of Android stuff. So it is coming out of my wazoo.
Your was wow.
So
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not sure what that is exactly, but yeah. So because I'm the Android guy at work, I was like the first Android guy, and so I have like Android stuff going back like for years. So I've
Yeah.
just for like little androids and like this big stuffed android and just like anything android. And I've got a few things around the house that are like
Yeah.
that. It's
Oh, you
interesting.
oh, go ahead.
Well, because they can theme it, so they can make little androids that have like winter themes and school
Mm-hmm.
themes and summer themes and stuff. And so I have all these different like versions of the little android figure, and so like you can kind of make them fit like anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got tons of Android stuff.
You just reminded me back. You remember back in CES when I was there, and I showed a picture of the Android pins, and
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
said back and you said, "I get as many for me as possible." I still have them. I got to send them to you
Well, you can just bring them to me, right? When we get together in a month or two.
someday. We'll get
Someday.
together someday.
Someday.
Don't let cats out of the bag,
Okay. So
or
if
Birdie
we
will
ever-
be in trouble if
yeah.
you let a cat out of the bag. I'm just saying.
Sure. Yeah, because Birdie doesn't like cats being out of their bags.
Exactly.
So yeah. Okay. Well, whenever I see you, because you never know.
Well, we are. This is actually public knowledge. We put together a panel for South by Southwest 2016. Marco will be there. Luke will be if we get approved. Marco will be there. Luke will be there. We'll have a couple of other special guests there. I'm waiting for the day that you start voting on them. But once we do that, we'll have that link out there, and you can vote for the panel. It's going to be a panel/show, so you'll get 2 in 1 if you go to South by Southwest, which is pretty cool. So, but you guys, you've been to South by Southwest before, right?
Nope.
No,
I have not.
neither of you. Sweet South by Southwest virgins. All right. On that note, let's move on. All right, where are we going? Okay, we just did Fund Me. Let's go to around the medical front. Beep, 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 beep. Clear. All right. I'm going off the beaten path here. I apologize. So, 10,000 steps a day. 10,000 steps a day. That's what your Apple Watch keeps telling you. Like 10,000 steps a day. You want to be healthy. 10,000 steps a day. Now you might look at your watch and see this is an accomplishment, but does it really matter to your doctor? The Dell has a doctor, Dr. Dell, I guess you call him, Dr. Nick Van Terheyden. I think that's how you pronounce it, Terheyden. He's the appointed chief medical officer over at Dell Healthcare and Life Sciences. He basically says, yeah, not really. I mean, it's just a feel-good measure for you. But if you were to say, hey, doctor, yeah, I did 10,000 steps every single day, the doctor goes, yeah, good job. You should be exercising, and you're exercising. And, you're not strapping the Apple Watch onto your dog and letting them run around the backyard. Because, that could come up with 10,000 steps a day. That's pretty straightforward. Or your cat. And it's a little bit slower for the cat, it just kind of wanders around. Your heart rate won't go up, but they can still do 10,000 steps a day. Hamster or a gerbil, awesome for Apple Watch. Put it right on their back, get them on the wheel. Boom, just like that. It's awesome. So that's 10,000 steps a day. Well, would it be 10,000 steps or 10,000 paws?
Ooh, do you get double steps because there's
Double steps,
4 feet? I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Someone needs to do an experiment.
Yes.
Put an Apple
All
Watch
right.
on a dog and see how it counts those steps.
Well, can you put your Moto 360 on Birdie?
I don't think she'd like that.
That's not the point. I didn't ask if she'd like it. I asked if you could do it.
It'd be difficult to get it to stay on. So
Okay. Well, maybe next time. Marco, do you have any pets that you could put Apple Watch on? I know you have an Apple Watch.
I have 2 Apple Watches, actually.
Ooh, hoity-toity. You have one on your left hand and one on your right hand, or something like that?
No, well, one of them broke recently.
Ouch.
I told you I was in Florida, so I had to buy a new one.
oh.
But no,
you don't have like protection on the watch to get
I
replaced?
I didn't think to get protection on it because I never drop anything, and lo and behold, I dropped something.
Oh
Wow.
man.
So you just took 500. It's like, I broke another $500. Here you go, another watch.
I went geekier than that.
Well, you got a
went
$10,000
for
watch?
No.
Okay.
I don't have that much money. I went for the $1,000 watch.
Oh, fancy.
Crazy.
So is that what kind of strap is that on there?
This is the metal link band,
Oh, yeah,
stainless steel, the one that Johnny Ive says it takes 5 hours to build this band.
So they're really bad at it, is what I'm hearing. It's like that shouldn't take you that long.
What did they have, like Oompa Loompas lifting,
Yeah,
like they did the pyramids or something
Well,
like that? I don't know.
in the video, he says each link is hand brushed by master craftsmen.
Yeah,
Are you
they
trying to
get
do
paid
Johnny
$2
Ive's
an
voice?
hour.
What was that,
What'd
Luke?
you
I'm sorry.
I said they get paid $2 an hour. Like, I kind of doubt that. Like, it's like how long are they spending on that? Like that. Like that seems like a really long time to make a.
It does.
I mean, like, and if it takes them, wait, how long to make each one?
They say 9 hours.
Yeah, it's like, so you're paying them pretty low. You must be paying them a pretty low amount because if you sell it for like $500, And you do the math on like how much they must be paying those guys, because like, well, they mark it up so much, and then they're only going to pay this much for it. It's like it gets down to like, well, they can't be paying those people that well, because if it takes them that long, like the hourly rate's pretty low. So yeah, I don't know.
You just bought slave labor watch band?
I don't think it's slave labor.
Thanks for making me feel so great.
Well, I try that. It's my job to report what I see, and that's what I'm like Donald Trump.
I wouldn't say slave labor, but it's like, well, they're not paying like somebody $100 an hour to brush those things, because there's no way they could sell it as cheaply as they do. Like, if you were paying somebody that much, it wouldn't be as cheap as it is.
So what band is on the one you broke?
Well, I bought the little leather loop one that was held on by magnets.
Ooh.
That one's fun to play with, but
I'm surprised you didn't 3D print a band.
I mean, I would, but I don't know how to create the lugs that keep it attached to the watch, so it would probably just slip off.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that proprietary connector thing
Yeah.
we've got on there makes it a lot more challenging.
Hand brush proprietariness.
Now, I can hand brush a watch band for you. I'll go buy a watch band for like $20, and then I can brush it, and then I can sell it.
Turns your wrist green, yeah, but it's hand brushed.
Master craftsman. Could I say? I don't know if I could say master craftsman. I'd have to do like 10 or 15 of them, and then master craftsman. There you go.
Yeah, what does make a master craftsman?
Yeah, you're like, that's. I don't think that's a. I don't know. That may be a technical term, but don't know.
Oh, well, at any rate, hello, way off the beaten path. How you doing?
What are we talking about? Steps?
We're talking about this guy, this Dr. Nick Van Terreden. He's the fifth out of 5 doctors who doesn't I don't know, prove brushing teeth. I don't know what
Is he the master craftsman though?
He could be the master doctor craftsman, the Dell doctor, Dr. Dell.
Dr. Dell.
Because we know how cool Dell wearables are.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. So.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts on Dr. Dell here? Luke? Nope. Okay.
No, I'm
Marco?
good.
No,
Not good.
really.
Okay. All right. Well, we just beat that medical one right down the drain. Let's move on. Okay. So technically, we did Fund Me, which was talking about Apple Watch. We did Around the Medical Front, which is about Apple Watch. So now it's time for the Apple Watch Watch.
Awesome.
Oh no,
Luke, you're. Oh,
know,
you didn't even have the app up.
I
Oh.
was trying to pull the thing up. Oh. There, I got it.
Are you done? Are you
Yeah, I
ready?
got it.
Are we ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Well, there won't be any gold watches at your local Best Buy, but you will soon be able to check out your base model. Actually, up to 16 different models of Apple Watch will become available at local Best Buys. Of course, quantity will depend on how they stock it up. They figure from there. If you don't have an Apple store in your city, but you do have a Best Buy, this is good for you. I have an Apple store and a Best Buy, so it really doesn't matter to me. No dates that I've saw. I don't know if you guys saw a date where they'll be in Best Buys, but I don't see the Best Buy dates just yet. And of course, the prices, they're not going to be much different. You might get a discount from Best Buy every now and then, but I think the prices are going to be exactly the same. So, and the one thing about Best Buy is you can actually, with the Apple Display, when they put the Apple Display in the Best Buy here, after so many years of it not being there, it was nice because then I could compare it to all the Windows machines. Now I can compare it to Samsung wearable devices, which they do have in the Best Buy, and other wearable devices. So I can go back and forth and see what's cool and what's not cool about it. But any thoughts on Best Buy and wearables and blah blah?
I mean, every time I walk into a Best Buy near me, all of the display units are either missing or broken.
Yeah,
So,
but you had I've been to the Best Buy that's by you, and that's when we were in New York, and because I had to buy the laptop charger and it's pretty cool. Best Buy.
That is a pretty cool Best Buy, but I went there when I had the Moto X, I went there to check out the Moto 360,
Okay,
and the only one they had on display wasn't working. The other one wasn't even on the pedestal that they had for it. So
got it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of iffy with Best Buy always
Okay.
Yeah,
for me.
that's been my experience too, is that most of the devices aren't hooked up, and then I'll ask, well, can I plug this in to see how it works? And it's like, oh, our charging system is broken or something, and it's really poorly maintained, except for the Apple kiosk. Like the place where all the Apple stuff is, they have that stuff running like always. Like there are people dedicated to it though. They have like dedicated staff people that are like,
Yeah.
their job is to just make sure all of that stuff is running, because Apple
Yeah.
is like, if you walk into a store and this one doesn't work and this one does, you're probably going to buy the one that does because, hey, I can actually see that it's working.
Yeah.
So it seems kind of weird that, like, I don't know why that is, but I'm guessing it's some deal either Apple has worked out with Best Buy or something where it's like, no, you make sure that all of our devices are constantly active and charged and ready to go, and they've got like all the cables, and like I rarely see an Apple device not on display and properly working.
So that would mean that the Apple Watch would be in
The
the
Apple
same
Watch is probably going to
situation.
be the same thing, and they're going to make a huge deal about it. You know, they're going to be like, "Are you here for the Apple Watch? We've got it right over there," and they're going to make
Yeah.
this, huge deal about having the Apple Watch, because it is a big deal. Like they weren't even in Apple stores. Like you couldn't even buy them in the stores for the first like month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to just order them online. You could go look at them. So like having it where like, yeah, you can come in, look at it, and buy one. And of course, like you said, those will be charged, but like the Moto 360s and all the comparison ones, Apple will probably be like, nah, or Best Buy won't care about keeping those charged because, well, who
That br-
cares,
yeah, yeah, definitely. That brings up a very interesting point. I'm wondering if there's any value in Apple kind of giving Best Buy a few extra dollars to have their employees run a script where if they're by the Moto 360s that they go, the Apple Watch would be a bit better device for you over the Moto 360 or something like that. And I know that if they have an Android phone, then Apple Watch
Yeah, I mean,
isn't
that's
really
the
going to
thing
work
is
for
like,
them.
it's pretty much, well, what phone do you have? Okay, well, if you've got an Android phone, you have to pick from one of these. And if you have an iPhone, you have to get an Apple Watch. There's really there's not as much of a choice there.
But I wouldn't be,
Something like that could possibly work for something like the Pebble.
yeah.
Yeah, the Pebble.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Apple kind of sweetened the pot for Best Buy and said, give your employees this script and try and upsell the watch to make, because right now their watch sales aren't doing well. Besides Marco buying two of them, their watch sales aren't doing too well right now. So,
Three of them. Three of them.
oh yeah, well you have one for your wife, right?
Yeah.
Okay, she didn't break hers. She's good with her technology, but can't.
Did you get, like, so Marco, did you get the insurance on the second one you bought?
Yeah, I did, which was kind of weird for me because I bought this one because it's technically stronger than the sport one because it's stainless steel and sapphire instead of aluminum and glass.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
you
what are you
still
gonna
got
what
it
do you what
because
do
you're
you
like, I'm not going to do this again.
Yeah,
so
I don't want to break this.
Yeah.
is that other Apple Watch working or no?
It is still working. It's
Okay.
just, see,
So
it's
what do you
asking me
what
what
are you gonna
language
do
I
with it?
want. I'm not sure right now.
No, Wearable Today could have, you could donate it to Wearable Today. I'm just saying.
Well, we'll talk about that off camera then.
Yeah.
Any donations are accepted to
We
Wearable Today.
might,
I'm just saying.
we might be able to work out a deal.
Oh, okay. Oh, so just working things out, so to get something falls off a truck or something. I don't know what. Sandy,
It might be like that. It
it
might
might
be.
be like that. Okay. All right. So, so anyway, if you want to check out more, we got the article over at fortune.com. And like I said, did you guys see a release date or a date that it's going to show up in stores yet or no?
No, I didn't.
Nope, nope. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. Yeah, let's go from there. Let's move on to here. Yeah, there we go. All right, and that is our big news, little arms. Yeah, you better be on track with that sound effect. So anyway, having a lot of fun. We're a threesome today. Like one more for golf, but we don't play golf. We like wearables, wearable technology, of course. And then, of course, everything's over at wearabletoday.com. You can check it out. And, of course, we've got you can go over and you can get some cool deals and support the show by going over to wearabletoday.com/deals. That takes you to the Amazon page. It's not a sponsorship. This is just an affiliate link where we probably get $1 from all your wearables. But they got some cool stuff. You want to get yourself a Moto 360. I showed off the Dubs, and actually the fun. This was really cool. I took the Dubs yesterday. My friends, they belong to a local gun club, and I took the Dubs with me to where as they went shooting because I was trying to figure out where I'm going to put the cameras because they basically want some camera shots of their shooting of these clay pigeons. So I'm going to have the drone out there taking video, and then I'm thinking of putting the cameras in different spots so they can see how they stand when they shoot and stuff like that. But I use these Dubs as my ear protection, and they were awesome. It was just, as opposed to the foam things and stuff like that, where it really kills some of the sound. I put those in, and I didn't have a problem hearing anybody, and it didn't get annoying, because your voice gets really amplified when you put earplugs in. Like right now, I've got in-ears in, and I've got to kind of stick one of them out so I don't go crazy hearing things in my head from me talking. So with the Dubs, they were just like I put them in, and I could walk around freely. I didn't have any problem with them. But anyway, that's just one of those cool wearables you can get over at wearabletoday.com/deals. Wearabletoday.com/deals. And of course, like I said, our friends over at CashFly, thank you very much for the bandwidth for the iTunes version. So we stay on iTunes with not only the video but also the audio. You can check it out over at cashfly.com. And then, of course, on the YouTube page, if you want to donate for the show, that's that blue box on the right side that says, give us $5. And so that would be cool there, too. So, how's everybody doing today? Luke, what was your week like?
Oh, pretty relaxed. Got a few more things for my Halloween costume. This week
As Batman and Robin?
Yes, it's Batman and Robin. It could be, I guess, but not quite. This week it was some air compressor tools, so not wearable tech, but some new tech that I was having to research that I've never really worked with before. I know of air compressors, but never had to work with them. So,
are you going to be doing some airbrushing, or is
that's
this?
The plan is I'm going to be doing some airbrushing.
Oh, cool.
And so I needed to get a regulator, and I wanted to get a filter to keep the air clean that goes into the actual airbrush, and because it's just a regular, big air compressor. So
that's pretty expensive for a single project. Are you going to plan to use that in the future? Or?
I might. It turns out if I paint it all myself, if I paint my costume myself instead of having somebody else do it, it's actually a lot cheaper. So even with the equipment investment, and it'd be a neat skill to learn. So I kind of like learning new skills and using costumes as a hobby for some of those crafting skills. So.
Okay, cool. Marco, what was your week like?
I went to Disney in Orlando and celebrated my first wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. And it was cool because I got to try out the magic bands for the second time. I remember Luke talking about that on one of the past episodes.
Oh yeah.
And I know it's just like an RFID chip and that's it. There's really no huge technology behind it. But I wish more wearables worked like it because I show up at Disney and without having to do anything, I can unlock my room. I
Okay.
can pay for pretty much everything. It's my ticket to the park. every single thing I do at Disney connects to my Magic Band, and it's like my passport to the Disney world.
Wow. Yeah, I was at Disneyland last year, and they didn't have the technology out, I don't think. But they started talking about it, and it sounded so cool. But wow, from what you just said, it's a lot cooler than what I expected it to be.
It is really cool, and it's not really the band itself, but it's the technology that they built around the band. Because, like I said, the band is just RFID, but
Yeah,
the way it works with all their other systems is really cool.
yeah, and it's one of those snap-on bands where you can't really take it off if you cut it. Does it like
No,
deactivate it
it's
or?
it's it's kind of like the Apple Watch's rubber bands,
Okay,
where it has a couple of pins, and you just put it into whatever hole fits you best.
Okay, so it's kind of like a standard watch band or something like that, where you can
Yeah,
adjust it and
yeah,
take it
pretty
off and
much.
put it back on if you want to, but it
Yeah,
holds pretty strong, or like
I
maybe
have
holds.
three of them now because I have one from last year, the one from this
hmm
year, and while I was at Disney this year, I saw this Luke Skywalker one that I just had to buy.
he's talking
So
about you, Luke.
so you can buy a replacement for it, and then they match it up, or they tie it to
Yeah,
like the same account, basically.
as soon as you buy it, right there at the counter, they set it up for you and tie it to your personal ID. So as soon as I got it, it was automatically ready to do everything the other one was.
So did you have to stop using the old one, or now did you have two?
No, now
Okay.
I have three Magic Bands that all work, and I can pick and choose which one I want to use.
Huh.
And
That's
then
interesting.
when you go to Disney World, you just choose one of them, and then they activate it again or something like that.
No, they're all activated. So whenever I'm there, I can just pick which one I want.
Okay. And it just ties to your
They're
account,
all tied
basically.
to me. I have the Disney account, and they know when I'm there, so the bands will automatically work.
Okay.
What if you give one of the bands to me and I go down to Disney World? Will it still work?
Then either you'll be me for the day,
Yeah.
or they can tie it to your account.
Okay. I'm just wondering if if you lose a band, can somebody somebody get a free day of Disneyland or Disney World, or is it something you deactivate like a credit card or something like that?
I can deactivate it by talking to someone at Disney,
Okay.
but I was a little disappointed that their app doesn't have that many options yet.
Well, they don't want you to deactivate it. They want to get as much money out of you as possible, I would guess. But
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but it would be really convenient to, their guests
yeah,
if I lost something and I'm not near any Disney kiosks, I could just deactivate it myself.
yeah, that's true.
It
That's true.
reminds me of the Royal Caribbean, and I'm sure all of the other cruise lines. They have what they call a Sea Pass, which is when you check in. There you have to have a passport and all that stuff because you're usually traveling to like another country or something. A lot of the times, and so you go through this whole authentication process, and then they give you this Sea Pass card, and then that card actually replaces your passport to get back on the ship if you get off the ship in another country. So like you don't have to even take your passport off the boat. You basically just have this card that you put in a machine, and then it even has they take a picture when you first get on the boat. So like when you get back on the boat, like you scan your card, and then the person at security actually they get to see the picture that you took at the beginning of your cruise, so it's very up to date, and they can just check and make sure you're like Jeffrey is implying of like what if somebody steals your card,
Yeah.
like so it's tied to you. There it's a little bit more, they have more security issues there than Disney World, because it's like, well, getting access to a theme park is a little different than somebody in some other country,
Trying to get on a boat,
sneaking on.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No. There's a slightly higher security risk there, but it sounds kind of similar because that Sea Pass is what you used on the cruise ship to buy drinks or pretty much anything on the cruise ship. You just used your Sea Pass. You never got out a credit card, except for like there was like one or two things. Maybe the casinos you had to use actual money. Like they were like, no, 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 you're not putting this on your Sea Pass. You got to give us, you got to get a credit card and like get cash out of an ATM kind of a thing. But like it sounds like it's very similar, although much more convenient because it's just a wrist strap. You don't have to have a pocket for it or anything.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, and it has the same problem because when I went to downtown Disney, there were a few stores that didn't take the Magic Band, but everywhere else, all the resorts, all the theme parks, that just tap and pay, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm off on my merry way, buying way too much stuff.
Exactly. They want to make it as convenient as
Yeah.
possible to spend money.
I'd be in Legoland 24/7 with that little thing. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So,
Yeah,
all
my
right.
my wife had to drag me out of there.
Yeah. It's Legoland's fun in Disneyland and Disney World. I was like,
Yeah, it is.
how many little Lego men can you get? Lots.
Yeah.
Like a whole bin full of Lego men heads, and it's just like, whoa.
Although she didn't drag me out in time when I did the build your own lightsaber thing.
Oh, nice.
So I got that one out of it.
Okay. All right. One more thing. We're going to move on really quick. I didn't think to shout this out, but I'm going to shout this out. I have a friend who's on TV show Skin Wars. Dawn Marie. She's a very good friend of mine. I've known her for many, many years. Unfortunately, in this last episode, she did get eliminated. She made it to the top 8, so that's pretty cool. But if you haven't been watching Skin Wars on GSN, check it out. This is wearable technology if you think about it, because it's basically paint and stuff like that. But they do a lot of prosthetic stuff, and they're doing this last one. They did steampunk, but they did steampunk. It's like where instead of thinking of 1900s, what 2000 would think of, it's like steampunk. 30 years from now, what they would think steampunk would be from what we would think that steampunk would be 30 years from now. So they had to do some really cool body paints, and it was just tough competition and a really hard decision, and unfortunately she got eliminated this week. But if you got GSN on your cable provider, check it out because good friend of mine, and it's just an awesome show to watch. So, but anyway, with that said, let's move on here because we're talking about setting your house up for the inevitable, Mr. Anderson, and that is the Internet of Things, getting your home automation set up. And the one thing about it is when you do home automation, you've got to have a device that can control the home automation. And that's where wearables come in. Your phone, your watch, your glasses, whatever, to change the temperature on the thermostat, to make sure that you don't have a fire somewhere in the house, to turn on or off water, to do one thing or another. If all of a sudden there's a cold snap and 15 feet of snow show up, you can change all the bits and pieces if you're in Disney World or something like that. And of course, Marco, you're the one that wrote this article, and this article's you can find it on wearabletoday.com. I'll promote the website a little bit. So, but you set up your home. First of all, you're in Queens, right?
Yeah, I'm in Queens now.
Okay. Do you own or do you rent the house?
I rent my apartment.
So it is an apartment. So
Yeah.
you're setting this up as something that eventually you're going to have to tear down and take to another place, right?
Yep.
So that's an interesting thing because I also rent, and I don't want to set up all this automation and then just have to tear it down and take it somewhere else. What plan do you have for that? Did you actually, replace thermostats and stuff like that?
No, we don't have a thermostat in here. I actually got into the Internet of Things kind of by mistake. I saw the Philips Hue bulbs and I'm like, whoa, I
Yeah.
have to have those. And then I saw the Belkin Wemo stuff and I'm like, oh, wow, these would be good accessories for my bulbs. And then when Wink came out with the Eros air conditioner, I'm like, yes, that's mine. I'm getting that. And I ended up with two of them. And the one thing all of these have in common is, they're easy to install. With the Philips, you just screw in a light bulb and plug in the hub. With the Belkin Wemo, you just plug them in, and I have two light switches that I wired up, but that wasn't that hard to do.
Okay. This is the Wink relay, just for people that are looking on the screen there.
Yeah, I would love to have that one, but it's one of the things that I discussed in the article.
Okay.
None of these systems have a really good way of dealing with smart light bulbs. You know, the quickest way to turn a smart light bulb dumb is to cut the power to it. And that's what Belkin switches do, that's what the smart things stuff do. But the Wink relay doesn't do that. You can set it to change the lights to different settings. So if
Okay.
you want it off, it doesn't actually cut the power. It tells it, hey, turn the light off. Um, and that's really cool. But the thing about Wink is that it doesn't let you group your Philips Hue bulbs into groups. So it still leaves a lot to be desired.
Okay. I was looking at some of the Philips Hue bulbs, and I was reading an article a couple days ago. In home theaters, they're now working with with over-the-top television, where if you have like a Philips Hue bulb, you can connect it to your Amazon or your Roku or your Apple TV, and when you're watching a movie, it'll actually change the lighting as the mood goes on the movie. So halfway through the movie, you could look at your lights, and all of a sudden they're a shade of blue, and then during an action scene where there's a lot of flames and stuff like that, you look at your lights and they're like a red or something like that to give more feel into the movie. And I thought that was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
that's amazing because I did it most recently when I played The Last of Us. I used an app on my iPhone and connected it to my Hue bulbs, and it used the camera on my iPhone to look at the TV screen and extract the colors from it and change my lights accordingly. So I scared the crap out of myself, first of all, because everything would go dark when I was in the dark hallway, and then a zombie would pop out of nowhere, and all the lights turn to the color of the zombie. So I'm looking over my shoulder, saying, "What's going on?"
Oh wow, yeah, and
So they,
yeah, I could see where like your game where like lightning is happening, and all of a sudden your lights are doing some sort of flashy thing or something like that. That
yeah,
would
I
be
forgot. I forgot what game it is, but there's a game on the Xbox One now
yeah.
that connects to the Philips API and lets it control the lights
Okay.
in tune with the game.
Well, that's pretty cool. I'm actually going to be getting an Xbox One to do some reviews, and I think I'm going to have to invest in one of these Philip Hughes bulbs to see how that hooks up and talk about that, because that starts to change the way that you have your home theater set up. I mean, before it was where do you put your 5.1 speakers? Now it's like where do you put your lights? Where do you put your chairs? Where do is you have little what they call butt kickers underneath your chairs now that make your seats rumble and stuff like that. How far do you go, and at what cost? So
I, I love my Hue lights. I can't say enough good things about them. I'm actually planning to buy a couple of Hue light strips and put them on the back of my TV so I can get an even more ambient light thing going.
now I got Amazon's. You go up on Amazon, you get like the little string of lights, and you get the little remote control clicker. Um,
Yeah.
is that similar to what the light strips for Philips are?
Um, yeah, it's kind of similar, but these connect to the whole Hue system so that you can control them through the Philips Hue app, group them into other groups with the other Philips Hue stuff.
Okay. And I'm assuming there's also an Apple Watch app on that too, right?
Yeah, I that's one of the things that I love the most is just like right here I have the app up on my watch, and it'll probably take a couple of seconds because there's just an extension, but there you go. You saw the
Yeah.
lights turn off. And the only thing that I can really say bad about this right now is that it's still watchOS 1.
Yeah.
So these are extensions of apps. They're not actually apps running on the Apple Watch. So it takes a long time to do certain things.
Okay. The one thing I showed you the Leo at the
Yeah.
beginning because of the Internet of Things. This actually does the same thing with the app. I can change the color of the light. I can change how bright or dark it gets, or just turn it off altogether. Now it's not. It illuminates. It's a night light basically, so I'd have to cover the sensor to turn it on. But it would be kind of cool because that could change the lighting in the hallway and stuff like that. And that does affect, because I can see the hallway through my in my living room, so that would help out with any type of mood lighting and stuff like that. So, Luke, did you have a question on that, or?
No, no, I'm just enjoying this conversation. Yeah, I've definitely thought about getting some of the lights, but yeah, like you said, they're all like different standards and they all kind of, they all have their own little idiosyncrasies that make it where they don't all work exactly right together.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so I think that's what the other article that we were going to talk about was
Oh yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
say there was a solution for.
Yeah. Let me call it. Go ahead and talk a little bit about that article. I'll call it up.
So this other article that you found over on wearable.com, W-A-R-E,
Bubble.
able.com, wearable, not, was talking about the new thread standard that Google introduced at I/O. Uh, because Google acquired Nest, this is actually the standard that Nest uses to keep devices connected. And so one of the interesting ideas with Thread is that you don't have to have every device connected to the Wi-Fi hub in your house, your router, usually directly. They can form this mesh network so that the device on the other end of your house from your router or your apartment or whatever, other end of your area, can talk to a device that's closer to it, and then that can talk to a device closer to the router, and then another device, and you can basically have all these devices talking to each other and passing the messages along until they get back to the router, so that then it can go out to the internet, or when you control it, it comes along and it can pass the message along to the right device. Um,
Kind of like a token ring for devices, I
Something
suppose.
kind of like that, where everybody's like, "Is this one for me?" Nope, pass it on, and they just kind of keep passing messages around until you get the message, till the right device gets the right message. And it's not a real new idea. Mesh networks have been around for a while, but Google's saying, "Here's a standard. It's an open standard, and we're going to use it on a really popular home automated, device like the Nest." And so it'll make it easier to integrate with Nest, and then other devices can do it. And so they're trying to really get this standard out there. I don't know if you guys saw anything else. Like, I thought that was kind of an interesting aspect of it. Was there other stuff that you guys saw that you thought was interesting?
I mean, right now, if that actually happens and it works well, it would be a lot better than what I have now. Right now, I've resorted to, everything talks to each other over Wi-Fi. If my Wi-Fi ever goes down, everything goes down. Um, Sometimes I can't get this to talk to that, so I have to go through ifttt.com. And if my internet goes down, I can't do that, obviously. Um,
Yeah.
and then you have things like smart things that promise to connect everything, but it doesn't actually work out that well. And Wink does the same thing, and it doesn't. Right now, the closest thing that I've seen that is starting, but it's really at an embryonic stage right now, is the Amazon Echo, and
Oh yeah.
with how they've been updating that, it looks really promising.
Yeah, just so people know, the Echo is the blue. It's technically a Bluetooth speaker, but it does a little bit more than that. Where you can basically do a lot of home automation off of it as well.
Yeah, it's you can see it right here over my shoulder in front
Oh,
of
that
the
okay.
ICEO. I come home and say, Alexa, turn on the living room, and my living room lights go on.
Can you
It
do it right now?
Alexa, turn off the living room.
Okay.
Nice.
Alexa, turn the living room on.
Okay.
Wow,
Alexa,
that's
play
pretty good.
Downeaster Alexa.
He's
I'm
got
sorry.
headphones. I can't hear you.
Dang it. Dang it. I wanted to hear some Billy Joel. Ah, you were going to say, Luke, I'm sorry.
No, no, I was saying that's really cool. Like I know a couple of people at work have got Echoes, but yeah. So how hard was it to connect your Echo to your Hue lights and tell it about places and get all that kind of stuff worked out?
As long as they're on the same Wi-Fi network, I could just give it a voice command and tell it to discover devices, and it just finds all my. It automatically found all my lights and all of my Wemo devices and added them. Now I could go into the app and group them, which is what I did to get, living room and kitchen and the bar and everything set up.
The
But
bar.
it's
Yes.
gotta have the bar, man.
Gotta have the bar. Yeah, it's very important. It's for those. It's not an alcoholic bar. It's one of those juice bars, right? The healthy stuff,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Yeah,
I
totally,
juice all the time.
totally. With a little bit of rum. Yes.
In fact, no juice. No, you leave out the juice, right? Yeah.
One thing we forgot to do was pull up the Q&A, and Eric has been asking stuff like crazy, and
Oh no.
I wanted to bring in Eric here really quick. First of all, he wanted to say this: I have put a Fitbit on my Yorkie, so I'm wondering how many steps you did on that, Eric. That would be kind of fun. But his real question is this: does anybody know about the Apple iHome? And it's kind of disappeared. Where is it?
It says, does
Um,
anyone know the status of the iHome stuff?
Yeah, I'm not seeing
Um,
it. But anyway, go ahead.
it's their HomeKit stuff. They made a big announcement at WWDC last year and reiterated some stuff at WWDC this year. But um, if that's another thing. If it works, it'll solve a lot of problems. But that's a big question mark right there. I mean,
Yeah,
Philips already said they're going to announce something this fall, which will probably include buying a new hub for my Hue system that's Bluetooth compatible. But I mean, I have to see it work in order
yeah,
to, because right now I've had way too many things that just haven't worked.
yeah. It's really funny. Luke, do you remember when we back when it was This Week in Google Glass and we talked about Bluetooth devices, and I went on that little rant to say, hey, we need to have something that allows for multiple connections and stuff like that. They're doing it, and I'm really impressed. I thought Bluetooth was going to go the way of the Dodo, and something new was going to come out in its place. But they've really stepped up their thoughts on Bluetooth, don't you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, and I think it's also finding the right technology for the right uses instead of trying to cram Bluetooth into everything or Wi-Fi into everything. They're trying to figure out, well, what should we be using? And so I think that's also a big part of it is now there's enough standards
Yeah.
that you can pick the right technology for whatever it is you want to do. But
Well, plus
um,
that's also becomes a security risk. I mean, if everything has Wi-Fi or
yeah,
everything has Bluetooth, they all get paired to the main device. So that means that somebody's, just like what Google did with their car and try and find open networks. Somebody could be sitting outside your house, looking, scanning for your Bluetooth, scanning for your Wi-Fi with some sort of strong signal catcher, and find a device that has weak encryption or something like that, and then all of a sudden they can tunnel into your system. And with a device like this, they might be able to get into one device, but they get stopped right there.
I read a few articles over on iMore and 9 to 5 Mac where they said that there's a lot of manufacturing delays because of the security measures that Apple's trying to implement with their HomeKit system. And they're saying that in the end, it's, pushing the technology forward and making things safer for everybody. And that, if that's the truth, that would be great. I mean, being able to raise my wrist and say, "Hey Siri, turn on my lights," would be awesome.
Yeah.
But right now, it seems like a whole lot of talk about nothing, and that's really frustrating to me.
Yeah. Right now, you just have to say, "Hey Alexa." It's a longer name than
Well,
Siri, I suppose.
you just say Alexa with the echo, actually.
Oh, okay. She didn't light up, so she didn't hear you. But that's okay.
Alexa, I love you.
That's nice of you to say.
Aww. So it's just like Siri. You can ask her a whole bunch of questions, and
Yeah.
any silly questions, she'll kind of poo-poo it away or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. One of the best uses is the same thing that I use Siri for, setting timers for when I'm cooking.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been doing that now because it's easier to cook an egg, um, and then set a timer for a minute so you can do something else and let that timer just kind of keep you in check here. One more question from Eric, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Is Wow, this one's going weird too. Are there any Apple iHome? I don't know. Can you read the question there? For some reason, it's
iHome
not showing.
stuff. Are there any Apple iHome stuff currently available?
No,
Um,
he just asked another question that shouldn't be that one.
well, no, that's the one that just
That's the one
popped
that I saw
up for
pop up.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay.
Um,
So I just did a quick
there's
Google search and found a TechCrunch article from last month that said that yes, there are some HomeKit devices out there. There's an Elgato Eve, which is
yeah.
it monitors indoor air quality, temperature, humidity, as well as outside
Yeah.
factors like that. There's a thermostat, the Ecobee 3. There's the Lutron Cassetta Smart Bridge, which connects to some Cassetta wireless lights. And there's the Insteon hub that it says lets you control LED bulbs, lamps, thermostats, wall outlets, and then maybe a smart plug that's iHome compatible, or
I've
that's
It's funny.
actually
It's
that's
funny you
iHome.
said cassette because I just started thinking boombox and John Cusack
No,
and say anything or something like
I've
that.
Cassetta. I
I've
guess.
Cassetta.
I'm
actually
not sure.
heard. I've actually heard a lot of really good stuff about the Lutron Cassetta, whatever
Yeah,
it's
I don't
called.
know.
I've heard some really good stuff, and it gives me a little bit of hope for the platform. I just want to see something that works.
So, all right. Well, so far you've had this plugged in for what, a week and a half now. You've had to do some stuff. You've made some changes while you were down in Disney World, right?
What do you mean?
Uh, Forgot to turn off the toaster or something like that. I don't know. Well, I don't know what you have hooked up. So is
Well,
it just the lights you have hooked up right now?
no, I have the lights, I have the two air conditioners, I have a couple of Wemo smart plugs, and I have the August smart lock, which I was obsessively checking every day to make sure my lock was still locked.
Okay. So you don't have like a Nest Cam or something like that. The old
No, I don't have anything from Nest,
yeah.
although it was interesting at a time. I don't have a thermostat in here.
Okay.
Do you have so you don't have any sort of camera set up yet?
No, not yet, but I'm looking into getting into that next.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. We'll love to hear the updates on what's going on there. Of course, you're going to be blogging over at wearabletoday.com. So I
Yep.
appreciate that very much. Thank you. And of course, that means we're also getting other bloggers. And of course, if you guys out there, Eric and other people that are watching, if you want to be a blogger over on Wearable Today, just let me know, Jeff at wearabletoday.com, and we'll go from there. Went a little bit over, but that's okay. I think we had a pretty nice conversation about home automation and wearables. We kind of touched on how wearables go through, but as things progress, you're going to see you're going to have at least your phone is going to have an app on it where it does, because with the Leo, I definitely have an app on mine, that's for sure. And as I start getting, I'm definitely gonna look into these Philips bulbs, and
You know,
maybe hook one or two up. So
that's one of the things that I touched on in my article. The wearables aren't getting used so much for the home automation stuff right now, but it seems to me like a really huge opportunity for someone to tap into wearables.
yeah, and especially if yeah, in a great situation, if you're in trouble and all you have to do is touch your watch or something like that and say, "Hey, I'm in trouble," and your parents are sitting at home, all of a sudden the lights start flashing in some weird pattern, and they'll know that there's something going on, and they can start taking action right away. So that'd be a
That would
cool
be
thing.
great.
That'd be awesome. So lots of different ways, and that's what I wanted to get into this whole idea of home technology and wearables on the show. And so I'm glad that we had you, Marco, come on the show and talk a little bit more about it. As you build your home, we'll definitely have you on and see what's going on in that front, and of course the 3D print front, which we haven't talked about too much on this episode as well. So, Marco, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
I can always be found over blogging at wearabletoday.com. I run my own blog as well at obsessivelygeek.com. You can email me at marco at obsessivelygeek.com.
All right, and we'll feature links from Obsessively Geek as well as we progress with
I'm
Wearable Today.
definitely going to be featuring a lot more stuff on home automation and trying to integrate it with my wearables.
Yeah. All right, and Luke, tell us where they can find you.
So you can find me on Twitter over at Luke Luca. It's Lukeluca. You can email me for this show, Luke at wearabletoday.com. If you're watching the live stream, it's down here at the bottom. You can email Birdie at wearabletoday.com. She would love to get your emails. Not on Twitter yet.
Yet.
Instagram, all that good stuff. Or Google Plus, google.com/plus Luke Wallace.
As that changes to Google. Anyway, we'll get into that.
I'm not getting rid of my Google Plus.
I'm not getting rid of my Google Plus, but everybody's thinking that Google Plus is dead. We won't get
It's
into that.
dead again for the 12th time.
Yeah, for the 12th time. It's like a freaking cat.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Meow. Anyway, Jeffrey Powers here. Thanks a lot for watching. You can find me over at geekazine.com and some of my other podcasts. I actually shut down a podcast the other day, which was a sad thing. As the day in tech history, I'm taking a small break from that. Doing a show every single day for 5-6 years is kind of nice not to have to worry about it. Let's just put it that way. So, got some other shows. You can check it out over at geekazine.com. Jeff at wearabletoday.com. We do have, as Luke kind of alluded to, we do have some really cool things coming up we can't talk about just yet, but definitely stick around and we'll let you know once we know, and then we'll all know. Thank you very much, Marco. We'll have you on in future episodes, and we'll definitely, if we go to South by Southwest, we'll be seeing you there as well. So, and thank you very much. Thanks, Eric, for asking some questions over in the chat. And of course, if you want to be part of the live stream, we do this every single Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So you're home no matter what. You're eating your food. Don't watch the nightly news. Watch Wearable Today. This is cool news. That's all I'm saying. So, thanks a lot for watching. You guys geek out. We'll see you next time. I don't even have the music queued up. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time on Wearable Today. What's so funny? Nothing. It's not funny.
It's my music.
Where's my music? Oh, no. Okay. It's kind of funny. It is funny. Okay. Laugh now. You're not laughing now. Why do you laugh now?
Huh?
Huh? Laugh.
Ha 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 ha.